Mohammed Sayed's life story is at once hard to believe and impossible to forget. He grew up in a small village in Afghanistan. His mother died when he was 5. Just 11 days later, a bomb blast tore him and his world apart. His father took him to a local hospital, dropped him at the door, and never looked back.
And never saw him again. So from that age, I was on my own.
The drama was just beginning. He was alone, abandoned, and recovering from multiple surgeries that left him paralyzed from the waist down.
So since I had no family to go to, I had to figure out a way of taking care of myself. So I started a little business repairing and selling cell phones. And that generated enough money so I could pay for his school and food.
This at the tender young age of 8. Caring doctors and nurses at the Italian-run hospital in the Panjshir Valley looked after Mohammed, or Mo as he came to be known. But in 2007, the hospital abruptly closed, the Italian staff forced to evacuate amid the escalating violence in Afghanistan. Mo was left behind, alone and abandoned again in the sprawling hospital.
First couple of weeks were really, really hard. I was scared and I was sad. But I started enjoying it. It's like being the king of England and like conquer all over this whole compound to myself. I went out when I wanted and came back when I wanted.
That humor and optimism may have saved him. He had left an impression on the hospital staff, one of whom asked an American nurse working in the area to check on the boy in the wheelchair left behind. She did more than that. Maria Sanchez adopted him.
I lost my mom when I was between 5 and 6, so I don't even remember how she looks or how, So I think she have given to me everything that I don't think my real mother would have been able to. I think without meeting her, I wouldn't be alive in here today.
Maria brought him to Massachusetts in 2009. More surgeries followed, but so did a whole new world. The beach, camping, and graduation from Cambridge Ringen Latin High School. In 2015, he met President Obama at the White House Science Fair.
Thank you.
Really proud of you. Congratulations.
And he became a United States citizen.
That moment, the day I took that citizenship, I felt like I had started a new life.
And he is making the most of it. 2 years ago, he founded the nonprofit Rim Power Inc. to assist the disability community in 2 ways. First, psychologically, by developing Wheelchair Man, a superhero who brings hope and peace and inspiration to the disabled. And second, through a remarkable array of assistive technologies that he has designed, 3D printed, and hopes to bring to market.
Oh, isn't that cool?
That is cool.
It centers around this device called the Key to Freedom, which attaches to virtually any part of a wheelchair and then couples with a host of attachments like phone holders, cup holders, and camera attachments.
Every possibility is thought of.
He has big plans for expansion, movies and cartoons for Wheelchair Man, marketing and growth of his assistive device business. Mo Sayed seems well on his way, having endured, survived, and prospered along the way with what may be his own superhero power, his attitude.
We all lose something in our life that really hurt us, but we eventually get over it. We never forget about it, but there is a lot of good things you could do in life. So that's how I looked at it. I looked at it from a positive perspective rather than looking and sitting there and crying, I'm hopeless, I can't do this, I never look at things like that.
He's just incredible. And Mo tells us that Rim Power is actually working with the U.S. Embassy in Kabul.
They are, and they're working to translate Wheelchair Man into Dari and Pashto, the 2 main languages in Afghanistan. They hope to distribute about 1,000 copies of Wheelchair Man once they do that. He also hopes to go back to Afghanistan someday and meet his younger sister and tell her there might be hope for her and a place for her outside of Afghanistan. Wheelchair Man's motto is, after all, hope is on the way.
All right. Lean in, not out, says Chef Matt Jennings.
This is not a chefy coffee table book. I want this book spilled on, dusted with flour.